Hey everyone, this is Aegis, and here is Game 3 between Andori and his opponent Fault. This is the Collegiate Masters StarLeague, and you might be wondering why we're seeing a square screen instead of my usual 1080p high quality stuff. Instead we're going to be in square. It's because I'm on spring break. I left all of my recording stuff at school, and I'm even scrolling with the keyboard a little there just to make sure that I've got everything right. Oh look, there's a probe scouting really early from Andori, but aside from that, it's generally because I left everything at school. You might even hear a little bit of my breathing because I'm just using one of those mics that are attached to headsets. This one, a SteelSeries headset, of course. The Collegiate Masters StarLeague was sponsored by SteelSeries. Go check them out at www.steelseries.com. Alright, so Andori is going to scout over here, find Fault, and then throw down a pylon into the center of the map. We're going to see that Andori is going to be going for a little bit of, I guess, cheese here. Going to be building gateways in the center of the map. Fault probably not suspecting anything too strange going on. Yeah, he doesn't see what's up in the middle of the map. This was played on the previous patch, so none of the new fancy features for viewing are here yet. You just see the little pink block instead of the race. I'm not sure what else has changed, but I know that's one of the things that's changed for the new replays. So Andori here getting two gates in the center of the map. We'll see how much pressure he can put on, see if he can win with this. This is indicative that, of him feeling a little bit of pressure in the third game. He does want to win it and continue on to the semifinals. Fault continuing to be generally pretty standard. He is throwing down a forge here, so he probably does suspect a little bit of strangeness. He is scouting around on the side of the map here. Yeah, because he's scouted nothing over here. He's even got an idle probe. He's looking for the cheese. He was wondering where the cannons are. We're going to see if he is able to find that real soon. But of course, Andori is just chrono boosting zealots here. He's even got an idle probe over here. You should move that back to the base and start getting a little bit more of a normal feel to the game. Maybe chrono boosting a couple of probes out there also. It does look like Fault is going to wall himself in. He's got a zealot outside though, so I guess that zealot will be able to help fend off any early zealots while this first cannon finishes up. Does look like Fault should be fine from this. That initial zealot also taking a couple of free hits. Andori is going to lose that first zealot. The second zealot now coming in to reinforce. Fault's cannon is almost complete. It looks like he's going to lose his first zealot after killing off Andori's first zealot. That first pylon getting worked on. Fault is going to defend with his first cannon. Looks like Andori is going to have to figure something else to make his rush work. He is grabbing the gas now. Both players are now grabbing the gas, or actually the second gas coming up for Fault. He might be going for some sort of immortals, maybe try to bust out of here, maybe kill off these extra gateways. Does Fault know about this? No, he does not. So he's still not found the proxy gateways yet. Andori now getting a little bit more of a normal look, getting pylons in his base. He's gonna throw down his cybernetics core out here, so it does look like he's gonna go for somewhat non-standard. Gonna be building his base outside of his base. Fault continuing to wait at the front with one probe. Gonna continue scouting over here. Gonna be counter cannon rushing. Andori forced to pull probes off of the line. Gonna be trying to fight off these cannons. This cannon looks like it won't get cancelled. Fault is going to let it finish. It's going to warp in here and maybe kill off a probe. Not being able to kill off a second probe. This second cannon is going to get cancelled. Fault knows that is not going to work. He's going to salvage that 150 minerals minus 25%. I feel like I'm a salesperson at some sort of tech store. You always get 15% in a refund, or 15% less refund when you've opened the box already. Okay, so Fault continuing to chrono boost the probes out. We're going to take a look at the income. It does look like Fault is ahead because he's been making workers for the entire time. Now finishing up his cybernetics core just a little bit after Andori's, because he did try to go for that cannon rush. Cybernetics core is now finished for Andori, not quite able to get any warp gate research yet because he is chrono boosting out stalkers. He's gonna continue trying to bust the front two zealots coming out for Fault. Gonna maybe go scout, nope. Gonna pull right back to that cannon, definitely want to continue feeling safe here. Robotics facility coming up for Fault as well. Gonna try to get out some immortals to deal with the incoming stalkers. Here comes Andori with his little force. It's going to try to march up here and take a couple shots off of that cannon. The Zealots advancing forward. Two Zealots for Fault going to be able to take some of the damage while the cannon works on the Zealots for Andori. Andori is going to clean up those Zealots and is going to try to break down this front pylon. The pylon is going down, 100 HP left. The Zealots are from Andori are getting killed off though. The first Zealot is making its way in here. Fault is probably going to lose his first cannon here, but he does have reinforcing stalkers, going to be forcing Andori back out of here once again. Fault getting supply blocked because of that first pylon going down. Andori still no warp gate research. He's got to do that real soon. Maybe transition into a normal 4 gate. Going to take a look at the units last time. Andori has gotten the longer end of the stick. Fault, the shorter end of the stick currently, is going to wall back in with the pylon and going to start getting out that warp prism and also getting the robotics bay. The Colossus then going to be able to get out those Colossus to deal the damage. Andori going to march in here, going to beat up two stalkers, going to be able to take one out. Fault still has his cannon over here. However, the cannon is getting killed off rapidly. Two stalkers versus two stalkers. Fault is going to defend. Warping in a sentry there will be able to force seal the ramp, prevent any reinforcements from getting up here. Is continuing to make units out of these two gateways. Now chrono boosting the warp gate research. Fault's one warp prism is out on the map, is going to pick up a probe and fly away. Fault is going to continue to try to defend this. Maybe force seal the ramp with a sentry. Force seal is going off, going to keep the stalkers out for just a moment while that Zealot gets killed off. And two stalkers over here going to be able to defend against the two weakened stalkers from Andori. Andori doing a good job of keeping that alive. Going to continue chrono boosting the warp gate research, I hope. He's chrono boosting probes now. Going to get his first buildings inside his base, a robotics facility coming up. The warp prism going to be moving over there, and the probe now patrolling back and forth. Probably going to throw down a Nexus. Gonna sneak that expansion. Fault also patrolling a probe down here to make sure no cannons go down, I guess. Fault's gonna be continuing to, or no, Andori gonna be waiting for his warp gate research before he tries to do any pushing. Two Zealots getting warped in here. Andori not having much in his base is going to be completely undefended against those two Zealots. Now the warp prism is gonna drop them off in the mineral line. Always warping those Zealots in outside, a very good idea. Gonna be able to drop those Zealots immediately for some damage. Andori notices immediately gonna be pulling his probes off the line. Maybe warp in some units to help deal with this. Andori is not mining anything at all right now. He's pulling back his stalkers to deal with this. He's got to warp in some units over here. Fault is getting a huge amount of damage done because Andori's probes are outside and not mining at all. The Warp Prism is going to take those units out of there, just taking a couple of hits of damage. It's going to park itself over here and perhaps do some more damage later on, and it does look like Fault, great job, going to be able to get his Nexus up, going to patrol his probe back and forth. Once again, common theme here. Fault getting out two Colossus, he's going to be way ahead in the tech front. Andori now getting a Warp Prism of his own, maybe going to do some harassment. However, Fault is looking so far ahead. He's got a huge tech advantage. He's defended. He's going to get his expansion up first. And the Zealots here still doing tons of damage. Andori unable to defend it properly. The Stalkers finally cleaning it up. And the Warp Prism, I guess, did not get out of there alive. However, Andori, Warp Prism of his own, will be going for the counterattack with a couple of Stalkers. And it does look like Fault has broken down his own wall and is marching out the front. A sentry spawning here for a Fault, no doubt to wall off any units. That Warp Prism will not be scouting this expansion. Fault is going to begin queuing up the probes here, getting chrono boost and get some use out of those units. It does look like Fault's army will not be in position for this, so it does look like all of his units are moving out for the attack. Couple of probes also transferring over here. Andori is going to drop off his Stalkers in the vents. Do note that this was played in February, so the vents haven't been completely closed off by those gas smoker things. Andori is going to advance with his Warp Prism. He can warp that into a pylon-like thing and be able to warp some units in. Fault is advancing in here. No units in place for Andori. It doesn't look like GG calls Andori. This game is over. A Colossus spawning here. But it does get taken out rapidly, so Fault does advance to the semifinals of the Collegiate Masters StarLeague. We're going to bring more games from that to you real soon.